Hello, sister, soul sister. How are you, sweetheart? How's the dating going? How's your love life going? How is your heart feeling? I want to talk to you today about a very serious topic, which is about repeating patterns. And I know how painful that is when you think you're done doing that old thing and it starts to show up in new relationships. You start to date, you get excited, and suddenly you're saying things that you said before. You're noticing the anxiety that you had before. You might have been noticing you're dating the same person when you thought they looked different. They had a different face, they had a different name. And suddenly you're like, oh shit, they're exactly the same as the last person. And it can be heartbreaking. And so first of all, have some compassion for yourself because it's not uncommon. And it's a very common thing for humans to do because we have not learned how to break those patterns. We've not been taught how to break those patterns. In fact, it's just something that happens. We have all these experiences in our life that shape us. We take in all this information. We have all these experiences that lays down a lot of beliefs and how we're being because of these beliefs. And unless we identify these beliefs and shift them, we tend to stay the same and we tend to attract the same person. So I'm your love coach, Junie Moon, and let's talk about how to break those patterns. So the first thing is take a moment and ask yourself, do you have a pattern? Is there something you notice that you keep doing over and over that you want to stop? Do you hold yourself back and not express yourself and express your truth? Do you find yourself walking on eggshells? Do you find yourself overly expressing yourself and overly giving? That's some of your stuff, right? Now, the other thing is, do you find yourself attracting a similar type of guy? Just take a moment and notice what pattern or patterns you want to stop because they're not working for you. So people always say, I'm so ready to have this next best relationship. I'm so ready. I've done the work. I've written out my must-haves and don't-haves. And, I've gone to the gym. I'm feeling better. And they're ready, but they haven't unpacked the BS that they've picked up along the way, belief systems that have them acting in the way that they acted in the past. And again, it's what happens. You haven't learned how to break those patterns. So the first thing to do is what we just did. Acknowledge that there's something going on here. There's something going on here that has you running in circles and doing the same thing over and over. And if you start another relationship and you haven't changed anything, we know what happens. You're going to do it again. The whole saying, the whole saying, I can't even think of it right now. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Crazy. And you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You just have a reason why you're doing this pattern. And mostly it's because, believe it or not, you are trying to protect yourself and heal. So protect yourself and heal. What's that about? So protect yourself. Let's just use the walking on eggshells, not expressing yourself thing. So maybe somewhere in your life, it wasn't safe for you to speak your truth. Maybe as a kid, you were squashed. Maybe you knew as a kid, if you spoke up, you would have gotten slapped or criticized. Or maybe in one of your relationships, you expressed yourself and something happened with your partner and you felt horrible. And you learned throughout time that expressing yourself had a price. And on some level, you decided, mostly in an unconscious way, I better not do that. I better not express myself because every time I do, I feel pain. And so that's that information, which is in your unconscious mind, starts to run how you show up in life and your relationships. There's a part of you inside of you that's going, don't express yourself, don't share your truth, because if you do, you're going to get hurt. And you may not hear that voice inside of you, but you're feeling the fear or you're noticing the pattern of, I want to say something, but I can't. You feel that holding back, you feel that squashing down and pushing down. And that's you trying to avoid having the same thing happen to you that happened in the past. So on the one hand, that's you taking great care of yourself because you don't want pain. On the other hand, you don't want to do it anymore because you want to be that fully expressed, vibrant woman that you are. So acknowledging there's a pattern, realizing it came from somewhere, and then doing work around it. That's why you have the pattern. That's why these beliefs come along, because you have had something happen in your life that made you think it's not okay to be the way you are. And so you act in ways that don't serve you in your highest and best. On some level, it's protecting you. On another level, it's hugely impacting your ability to have deep connections and to have the deep joy. So you need to unpack the past and heal it and unplug it so you can be authentic and strong and be expressed in your authentic self without apology, and to own it. So let's talk real quickly about why you attract the same guy over and over. There's another reason for that. So if you've had in the past an experience, again, that hurt you in some way, let's just say you had a volatile relationship with your father, for example, and it never got resolved. Or maybe it did in some way. Maybe you were able to heal and you have a better relationship with your father. Here's the thing, that little girl inside of you, the experiences you had growing up, it still lives inside of you. And unless you've done the shadow work, unless you've shined a light on the wounding that you experienced as a child from that relationship, on some level, you want to recreate it so you can heal it. I'm going to repeat that. On some level, you want to call in someone that's going to have a similar quality that your dad had to experience it again, to hopefully do it differently this time, to heal it. And if you don't heal it, and then you get rid of that guy and you call in another guy, guess what? You still have the healing work to do. And another piece of it is it's familiar. It's what you experienced with your dad or a partner or your mother. So all the experiences in your life you have living inside of you. Some of them are going to be in support of you in being your highest, greatest, perfect, beautiful, amazing person, shadow and light. And then there are those wounds, those unhealed places. And if you're finding yourself acting in ways you don't want to act, attracting people that you don't want to attract, that's like, woo, 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 red light, red flag. Something is inside of you screaming. Your soul is screaming for help. It's waking you up, going, ouch, making you go, ouch. So give yourself a break, give yourself some love and compassion, and go, okay, there's some wiring here. There's something going on that I'm not in control of because something happened that has wired me in this way to be this way. And there's something that needs to be healed. And so that's what you need to do. You need to acknowledge that this isn't working. You want something different. It's not your fault that this is happening. And the healing needs to be done. And that's, of course, why I do my midlife Love Out Loud podcast, is to help you wake up to this. And of course, why I do my midlife love mastery program and my one-on-one calls and all the different events I do to help you unwire. But you got to realize that there's something going on first. You have to say, I don't want to do this anymore. So to break your pattern, you need to shine a light on those patterns. First, you have to acknowledge it, shine a light on the pattern, and then do something differently. Get yourself a coach, work with me, do some journaling, do some transformational work. And I will just say, books are great, workshops are great. There's something to be said about working with a coach over time or working with a therapist over time. Of course, I would love to support you. Just work with someone so that you can unplug from the past and really show up at this stage of life conscious, aware, awake, and able to stand strong in those feet of yours, stand strongly as the beautiful queen that you are, and to not act in ways that don't serve you, And that's how you have an amazing relationship with yourself and potentially with a new partner. That's my message for today. I hope that was helpful. Big, big love to you. If you're listening to the audio, please like, review, and subscribe to the station, to the podcast. And for those of you that are looking at me right in the eye on my YouTube station, I invite you to subscribe and to click the bell so that you get notified for all the rest that are coming up. And there's a place for comments on the YouTube station. So put some comments. I promise you, I will look at them and I will respond. And that's it for today. So much love to you. Mwah.